You know, ladies and gentlemen, considering we cover usually just the gaming industry for the most part, we do cover other aspects of the entertainment industry as well. And one of those, every now and then, has to do with comic books. And the reason why we're covering this is because, well, it's all linked together at the end of the day. These activists that are currently celebrating the offing of Charlie Kirk are the ones that are going full mask off because they want everybody to see how amazing they are, how empathetic they are, how amazing, truly beautiful people they are on the inside. So I saw this article here from a website called Popverse, and it said DC Comics cancels Red Hood comic book series. The first issue of the 17 plus rated Batman spin-off comic book series went on sale September 10th, but DC Comics has informed retailers that orders for all future issues have been canceled. Now, when I first saw this making the rounds, I was like, well, that's interesting timing. Why are you canceling it today? You know, it's September 10th. Why are you canceling today? Ironically, the day that something happened to Charlie Kirk. Is it linked? Is it connected? Well, apparently it is. And I didn't even realize it until I started to go a little bit through Twitter and I realized, oh, snap, people have already started talking about this. So apparently we have heels versus babyface talking about this, where he says, good, DC cancel that fucking see you next Tuesday comic immediately. Be vocal, drive the filth out of these industries. Enough is enough. And I'm like, well, what the hell did this person say? Just exactly how bad is all of this? Well, apparently it's pretty damn bad. I ended up finding an article from That Park Place with a headline that reads, DC Comics writer Gretchen Felker-Martin mocks Charlie Kirk offing and claims that police aren't people. And I'm like, wow, yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Just looking at the picture, I'm like, yep, that's about right. That's about accurate. So again, the shocking news that conservative activist Charlie Kirk was off that Utah event has reverberated across the country. And I agree with that. This thing is massive. Okay, it is massive. I mean, this thing has riled up emotions in me that I didn't even know I had, to be honest with you. But again, I mean, here we are. And it's funny. I say this in every video because I want people to understand I didn't consume Charlie Kirk's content on the regular like that. I would see a short from him every now and then pop up either on TikTok or YouTube Shorts as I was doom scrolling, and that's basically it. I mean, that's the extent of what this was, but I never once would advocate for his actual fucking offing in real life. But, you know, anyway, one of the more disturbing responses came from inside of the entertainment industry, which they have been, by the way. My last two videos have been documenting just how happy everybody is. And again, they want to celebrate. I want to celebrate with them. Let's showcase their celebration. One of the more disturbing responses came from inside the entertainment industry. Gretchen Felker-Martin, a biological male who identifies as female and is currently writing a Red Hood comic book for DC Comics, openly mocked Kirk's death while also posting vile remarks about police officers, claiming that they're not actual people. The DC writer openly mocked Charlie Kirk mere hours after he was fatally wounded, fueling serious questions about judgment inside of DC, Warner Brothers Discovery, and the broader culture surrounding its creative hires. Now, the amazing thing about this is not even 10 hours after all of this happens, there has been multiple firings. There's been multiple layoffs. There's been people being fired all across the industry, in gaming, in comic books, in entertainment in general. They've been getting fired left and right because these morons want to celebrate on social media and just basically can't control their happiness. I mean, they're out here showing exactly who they are. Their mask is completely off. So just make sure you remember these people in the future when they do their future projects. Anyway, so mocking his death, instead of offering sympathy, measured criticism, or just saying nothing at all, Felker-Martin responded to the news of Kirk's shooting with open ridicule. He said the following: "Thoughts and prayers, you Nazi bitch." And then he says, "Hope the bullet's okay," after touching Charlie Kirk. Now, obviously, this is like edgelord shit. This person is obviously trying to be all spicy and stuff on social media because they think they're invincible. They think nothing's going to happen to them, especially since they're trans. They're so used to having that shield that's going to protect them from all criticism. Well, it didn't protect their job because apparently it all got canceled. And so when I saw these posts, which, by the way, this article that I initially found has basically founded upon themselves to not even reference the actual comments that were made. They made this whole thing seem like they talked about the history of the series. They talked about how people were buying it or whatever the case would be. And they talked about the cancellation. But when asked the question, all they had to say was the following: "At DC Comics, we place the highest value on our creators and community and affirm the right to peaceful individual expression of personal viewpoints. Posts or public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violent are inconsistent with DC standards of conduct. But you know what this article doesn't do? This article doesn't showcase the comments. This article doesn't showcase the tweets that we just saw at that park place. Doesn't show it at all. Completely hides it because they're trying to protect the person who did it. It's unbelievable, man. It's like, bro, if you're going to report on this, actually showcase the comments so that people can see what's going on here. But of course, we all know why they did it, because they can't be seen as partaking in the cancellation of a trans person or whatever. So on social media, the DC writer wrote, "Thoughts and prayers, you Nazi bitch." These weren't critiques of Kirk's political positions. They were celebrations of an act of violence that left a man, a father of young children, no longer in this world. On the very same day, Felker-Martin also turned to attacking law enforcement, referencing a sequence in the upcoming Red Hood comic. Kept seeing people TW Red Hood #1 for suicide, and for the life of me, I could not figure out why until I remembered it opens with a bunch of cops offing themselves. I just don't really consider them to be people, Felker-Martin said. So, I mean, this person... This person is clearly well beyond measure. This person definitely belongs on Blue Sky. There's no doubt about it. Pretty much everybody who's celebrating this is either on Facebook or Blue Sky. Sure, you have a couple of unhinged people on X, but for the most part, a lot of the screenshots going around are game developers and comic book writers, and basically a lot of people in the entertainment industry are all celebrating this under the guise of, well, he deserved it, right? And it's amazing because they don't ever keep the same energy. But anyway, we all know that. For a professional attached to one of the world's biggest comic publishers, this is extraordinary. Glorifying violence in fiction while also treating entire groups of real-world people, civil servants no less, as subhuman. So who is this Gretchen Felker-Martin? Well, Felker-Martin first gained notoriety as a horror novelist. A debut novel, Manhunt 2022, was widely publicized and appeared on multiple Best of the Year lists, while the follow-up of Cuckoo in 2024 reached the USA Today bestseller list. Felker-Martin has built a reputation for extreme horror fiction filled with body horror and identity politics, cultivating a following in progressive literary circles. Now, of course, I mean, listen, most of these people, they are writing stories for people just like them, right? That's basically it. They self-insert any chance they get. So it's not surprising that most of the people following this person is probably going to be from some sort of progressive political atmosphere. That's just what it is. And it's fine. Whatever. You're allowed to make content for yourself. You're allowed to make content for, whatever audience you're trying to placate to. It's fine. You can do whatever you want to do. That's perfectly fine. However, what's not fine is you dancing on someone's grave. What's not fine is you basically celebrating someone's death at this point. You're not making a meme. You're not making a joke. You're not doing any of that. You're not trolling. You are 100% serious. And that is a difference between shit posting and trolling and actually being serious. We all know you're being serious. This whole nonsense about, I don't mean it, I'm joking. You guys do this all the time with coded language. You want to talk about media literacy? You guys use coded language for violence all the time. And then when you're pressed on it, you want to pretend like you weren't being serious and that you were just joking. So anyway, beyond the novels, Felker-Martin has worked as a critic and essayist, often writing about horror films. In 2024, DC Comics tapped Felker-Martin to write a short story in Harley Quinn #41. That would lead to an even more high-profile assignment, a full Red Hood ongoing series under DC's new all-in mature readers imprint. But announced in mid-2025, Felker-Martin's Red Hood run is described as a gritty pulp noir tale. Jason Todd has left Gotham and Batman behind to take on a new city, New Angelique, consumed by corruption. Felker-Martin promised a story of sweat, blood, and powder burns, broken bones, and mind control. A city rotted from the inside out. The project is being positioned as one of the centerpieces of DC's new adult line. Well, no longer anymore, because people are not having it. Again, this person was getting called out by all kinds of people. Gabe Hernandez over on X says this is the writer of Red Hood #1 by DC official release today. It's long past time to flush the trash creators out of comics. Enough is enough. People are they're done. Like people are done. I don't think people understand just how done everyone is at letting this psychosis continue. That is genuinely what this is. This is a mass level of psychosis that is completely unhinged to the point now where you have someone's life who has been lost because they disagreed with their political opinion. This guy, Charlie Kirk, was not out here hurting people. Of course, the trans people and the progressive people, they're going to say, well, he was hurting us. No, he wasn't. This guy was putting out a different ideology that you did not like, and you consider that to be violence. So you decided to respond just like you always do, with real-world violence, turning him into a literal martyr that people are going to utilize for their own agendas for many, many years to come. You guys have no idea what you've done, and all you did did really is showcase to everybody in the world that you feared what this man had to say. You didn't fear the man, you feared what he had to say. You feared what he was telling people. You feared the fact that he was actually influencing the young minds of people all around college campuses throughout the world. He didn't talk to everybody because it's impossible to, and he definitely didn't change the minds of everybody because that's also impossible. But he changed the minds of some, and this is shown in the polls. It's just shown in the voting habits of especially the younger generation. And again, I didn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk ever had to say. I don't think anybody ever will. But the simple truth is that you guys proved to the entire world that what he said was effective and what he was doing was real, and you feared it. You feared it more than anybody could ever realize, which is why you had to kill him. So you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this entire nonsense? What do you think about DC Comics basically saving face and canceling this person's comic book completely? The entire run will no longer exist, and I'm sure they're probably not going to get fired, but who knows? I guess we'll find out. They as of right now, they canceled the line, but they haven't said that they actually fired the person. So I guess you're going to find out in a couple of days whether or not they've been fired. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.